Hi, welcome back to Dad Knows. So today we're going to visit 1861. We're going to have a visitor come in from 1861. We've been talking a lot over the last few episodes about things that led up to the American Civil War. Today we're going to talk about like the final event that led to it and the beginning of it. So again, the Civil War begins. Without any further ado, whatever that is, we're going to bring in our special guest today. We had George Washington on a while back, the greatest U.S. president, Jorge Grande, as we call him in my house. But today we're going to have another president that is highly regarded as well. So let's bring in Abraham Lincoln from 1861. Here we go. We're going to bring him in. Wow, President Lincoln,
Yes.
You're here. I kind of thought you'd be taller.
No, I'm sitting down.
No, you're sitting down, okay. And you have the hat.
My head goes up for several inches.
Several inches inside the hat, and the hat is all we've got. Really? All we have is a hat. Okay, all right, we got to work on our prop budget. Anyway, all right, thank you, President Lincoln, for coming in, and you're busy. It's 1861, mid-1861 right now. We just pulled you from. A lot is going on. Civil War's already started at this point, right? So, but I wanted to bring you in, if you had a few minutes, to just talk about kind of what led up to this and how this really got going. So, the presidential election of 1860 was sort of the final straw that kicked off the Civil War. And so you obviously won that election.
Yeah.
What party were you? You were the
Republican.
So you were the Republican Party. Okay, that was kind of a new party, right? That had sort of just come about after the Whigs sort of faded away. Yeah, Whigs were gone. Okay, so obviously the main thing, and a lot of stuff we've been talking about lately, was slavery, right? So what was sort of the Republican Party's position on slavery?
So we didn't want to change whatever the southern states had done already. They were already slave states. We wanted to prevent any other slave states from. We wanted to prevent no more slave states.
Any further expansion? No further expansion of slavery. Okay. So then the main party that was opposite was the Democrats, right? So who was their candidate? Stephen Douglas, and also from Illinois, like you. And what did the Democrats want?
They wanted sovereignty, like
popular sovereignty?
Yes.
Right. So what did that mean?
Like they wanted the states to choose whatever they were.
Okay, so each state or new territory would decide for themselves. Okay, so as I understand it, the Democrats met and they did Stephen Douglas as their guy, but not all of the Democrats, especially the southern states, they weren't into that, so they broke away and made another party. Is that right? The Southern Democrats. All right, so who was their guy?
There was.
Is it John Breckinridge?
Yes.
Yeah, like the ski place, right? No, you don't know that. Okay, never mind. So anyway, so John Breckinridge was their guy, and they just didn't want to talk about slavery. They didn't want anything. They were like, slavery is fine. We're not talking about it. We're not making any rules about it. Is that right? Okay. And then there was a fourth party, the Constitutional Union Party. Okay. And that was John Bell, I think, from Tennessee. All right. And those guys seemed like they just kind of wanted to, like, hey, everybody chill. Everything's going to be okay. Let's not have a fight. Let's everything be good. Right? So something like that. And as I understand, they were a union of the Whig, like some of the old Whigs. And who else?
The Know-Nothing.
The Know-Nothings. What were the Know-Nothings?
They were like very just random kind of stuff. Like they had
Sort of far right and far left at the same time, right? So they were like anti-immigration and only, say, white Protestant people, right? They wanted to control, but they also wanted labor controls and women's rights were a big thing for them, as well as more government spending. So it's really sort of like a very similar thing of like today's far right and today's far left got
They
together.
had like secret meetings.
Yeah, secret meetings and know-nothings, right? Because you didn't know anything about it. Like if it started as a secret society, you weren't even supposed to know about it. Okay, all right. So that was 1860, and the other things that kind of led up to all this is that, so 1854 we had the Kansas-Nebraska Act, right? And that was what?
Made every state, or not every state, they could choose whatever they wanted to be slave state.
So that was like a popular sovereignty thing, and then that with Dred Scott, what happened there?
That kind of like just like destroyed the Missouri Compromise.
Nullified the whole Missouri Compromise thing, which is why this became such a huge issue. Okay, so you were elected in 1860. You weren't even on the ballot of 10 of the southern states.
It's not not very fair.
Yeah, well, I think you didn't even like have enough people in those states that were going to vote for you anyway, so it didn't really matter. But you weren't on the ballot in 10 of the southern states, but you still won. You had enough electoral votes to win, and you had 40% of the popular vote, which again doesn't sound like a whole lot today because we're used to just 2 candidates running today. So now, and we're out here in 2020, only 2 candidates. Well, some other candidates run, but there's 2 main candidates, and they get almost all the votes. So you got 40%. The Democrats and the Southern Democrats actually together had more votes than you, but because they had split, they weren't there, and you probably still would have won with the electoral votes that you had anyway for the North. So we may see if we can get our technical editor to flash up an electoral map from that election here for y'all to see. So 7 southern states seceded right away. Like as soon as you were elected, they were like, we're out, we're done, right? And you were like, oh, hey, don't leave.
You must have really not liked me.
Yeah.
What's wrong with me?
You never did anything to anybody. But so 7 of them left right away. 4 more are going to leave right after Fort Sumter. So you were inaugurated on March 4th, 1861. About a month and a half later, April 12th, 1861, you had Fort Sumter. Tell me about Fort Sumter. What happened there?
Well, so when they seceded,
Yeah.
that stuff was still kind of our property, like federal property, but they decided they were going to take it.
Okay.
They thought it was theirs because they had seceded and it was like in their states.
Okay. So then the president of the Confederate States of America, Jefferson Davis, told his people to fire on Fort Sumter in Charleston Harbor, right? And that kind of started the Civil War, right? And then where you are from now, we've just had it's in late July. We've just had what myself we call first Manassas here in the South. I'm sorry, I am a Southerner. I forgot to tell you that. Thank you for coming anyway. But we call First Manassas in the South. Battle of First Bull Run happens July 21st, 1861. That was right outside of D.C. and the Yankees lost that one. But we'll get into more battles later. But a little scary that this battle right outside of D.C. happened, and the Union Army went like tearing back to D.C. But spoiler alert, things are going to turn around. Things are going to be okay. The Union's going to win. So anyway, we'll talk more about that later. We have a quick word from a few of our sponsors. President Lincoln, thank you so much for coming in today to join us to just discuss this election and how it really began, the Civil War and how that got started. So thank you so much. And I'm going to send you back to 1861. You're very busy. You got a lot going on back there. So I'm going to send you back. Thank you so much. All right, that was awesome to have President Lincoln come in and join us today. So we'll have a quick word from our sponsors, and then I'll be right back for a very quick wrap up. It's kind of a long episode today, but a really big topic. So thank you so much. And now for a word from our sponsors.
Hello, and this time we're advertising Lincoln's Hideaway Hats. You can carry all your storage needs right here. See that? You can have a sandwich for later, right here. You can have random stuff. So what is it? Toys. Oh, cotton ball. Another cotton ball. Anyway, you could even get several sizes. There's extra large, large, and small. There's even very small. So it's like a little tiny hat right here. And you just put little snacks in it. So come on down to Lincoln's Hideaway Hats, where you can get all your storage needs and hide it from your wife.
Hi. Do you have some ideas that are, kind of wacky, sort of way over here on the right politically, well, my left, your right, or way over here on the left politically, my right, your left, and you just don't know how to kind of smash them together and none of the politics that out there today work for you? Well, guess what? We have the party just for you. It's the Know Nothing Party. So come on down, join us. We do have some kind of strict entrance requirements. You have to, fulfill the requirements. But anyway, come on down to the party. The next meeting is going to be, well, I can't tell you that. I know nothing. The next, it's going to be, I'll tell you where it's going to, no, I can't tell you where it's going to be either because I also know nothing. So, you know what? Never mind. You never heard nothing. You know nothing about the Know Nothing Party. All right, welcome back. Thank you to our sponsors, Lincoln Hideaway Hats and the Know Nothing Party, even though we don't really know anything about them. Anyway, so this is an episode, again, Civil War is a huge topic. We're going to hit it again next time as well. Honestly, we could spend many 5 to 10 minute episodes talking about the Civil War. There's so much. So I'm going to try to get as much as I can about maybe stuff you don't know or stuff you haven't already heard before. And then we'll come back maybe and hit some other major topics like my favorite battles, which would be fun. But thank you so much for joining us. Again, the election of 1860 then led into 1861, the beginning of the Civil War. That was what we wanted to cover today. So thank you for joining us. If you like the content you see here, like and subscribe to the channel. And if you don't like it, I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do for you. Thanks so much. Bye.